Gabriel. Oh, okay. I don't have but okay, good. Okay, so the San Gabriel River begins in the San Gabriel Mountains up above, and it flows through numerous cities such as Azusa, Downey, Bellflower, which is where our school is located, and Long Beach, which is where we are currently located. And the San Gabriel River has existed for centuries, but it wasn't named until the 18th century. It was named after the Spanish mission San Gabriel Archangel, which was founded in 1771. And Native Americans have lived near the river for hundreds of years due to its abundance of water and agricultural resources. A prominent tribe by the San Gabriel River is the Tonga. They are also known as Gabrielers. And the Tonga's population has declined since the 1700s. In 1770, the population of the Tongas was 5,000, and as of now, it's currently approximately 1,500. So there are two Los Angeles aqueducts, and when the first one was created in 1913, the development of cities and towns started to boom near the river. And Los Angeles Aqueduct, which is the picture right here, is a channel that helps carry water to other areas. And here's a picture of the towns that developed in the early 1900s. And as typical of most rivers, the primary economy for the area was agriculture. Now, so far we have seen its agricultural benefits, the water resources it has provided to cities and towns through aqueducts, and fertile land it has provided to Native Americans. But the San Gabriel River has witnessed its downfalls. During the Los Angeles flood of 1938, Southern California experienced one of its most devastating floods in history. It destroyed bridges, roads, and buildings nearby. The San Gabriel received its share of damages, but it wasn't as debilitating as with other rivers in Los Angeles and Orange County. This is mainly because of the river's multiple dams that were created. But still, more protection was needed to protect itself from future floods. And so as a result, the government instituted more channels and flood protection in the San Gabriel. And because of the increased flood protection, it was one of the main factors that caused the housing boom in the 1960s and 1980s. People felt more secure and protected from future floods that may occur. And so most of the lowlands and agricultural areas were paved to construct residential districts, such as this. As of now, many houses and towns continue to line near the river. But it does continue to face environmental devastation due to water pollution and fertilizer runoff. Efforts to restore its ecosystem have had only limited success. And so now I'll bring to the stage Alex Vasquez, who will be discussing the watersheds.
I'll be discussing watersheds, and I just want to discuss some terminology first. And for one, what is watershed? A watershed is an area of land that drains into common waterway, such as a river, stream, and eventually to the ocean. An example of that is the San Gabriel River. And one other term is the confluence, which is describes meaning two or more bodies of water, which is the San Gabriel River going into ocean. That's the confluence. And tributaries. Tributary is a creek or a stream which flows into a main river. And one major tributary that the San Gabriel River has is the Coyote Creek. All right. The California Environmental Protection Agency estimates there's about 2,110 watersheds in the U.S., and 153 of those are in California. And the San Gabriel River, as well as other watersheds, is very expansive. It covers about 640 square miles of eastern Los Angeles County, northwestern Orange County, and is bound by the west by the Los Angeles River and the southeast by the Santa River. Now this is a picture of the San Gabriel River, and the dotted line is an actual size, and it comes from San Gabriel Mountains, and it goes to Monterey Park, to La Puente, and that's the area it covers. Other tributaries besides the Coyote Creek is the Bear Creek, Walnut Creek and San Jose Creek. The river our watershed involves about 37 cities. 19 of those cities are actually located on the river, situated on the river, and Buffalo is one of the cities. 26% of the watershed is used for heavy development, 15% commercial, 50% rural, and 9% other infrastructure. Even though these neighborhoods may be miles from the river or ocean, underground system of storm drains create direct connection. Now we'll be discussing storm drain runoff. This is a storm drain, and this example, there's plastic and other items, debris or whatever, and it collects in the storm drain. And another example of runoff could be animal feces if you don't think of and copper, motor oil, and the most common route that most runoff takes is through a storm drain, and it goes into the San Gabriel River, for example, and then leads all the way to the ocean. Storm drains are designed to drain excess rainwater and groundwater from paved streets, parking lots, and sidewalks and roofs. Types of storm drains are inlets, which is the common ones we see every day outside, or outlets, which are located in the river, and the water actually comes out, and piping, which is pretty self-explanatory. The first rains tend to be the worst because they accumulate after maybe days, weeks, and even months. So that's why when the rain actually does come, it collects the most debris and runoff. Types of runoff may include gasoline, motor oil, heavy metals, trash and other pollutants from roadways and parking lots, fertilizers and pesticides from lawns. And some poisonous examples can include nickel, copper, zinc, and cadmium. And now, Lisa will take over with plastics in the environment.
Okay. As Alex said, many of the trash that's on the street is swept into the riverbeds, not the ocean. However, there is a net to catch this trash before it leads out. However, as you can see here, some of it escapes through the little holes because plastic can be very small. And unfortunately, we don't have technology advanced enough to be able to clean off this plastic, so it cannot be recycled. It has to be transferred to a landfill or disposed of another way, so this can't be reused. Of the plastic we produce in the United States, roughly 50% is destined for a landfill. 20% can be reused as car bumpers, circuit boards and computers, refrigerator doors, or skateboards, and only 5% of plastic produced is recovered by recycling centers. And as you can see here, there's a 25% that has a question mark. So, where's the rest of that plastic? Well, it's in the environment. It's in the ocean, in animals, their homes, their front yards. And if you were to go down to the riverbed or get down to the ocean and just take a bucket and start digging up there, you'll find a lot of random stuff like broken DVDs, fragments of taillights from cars, soda bottles, and various other trash that contains harmful toxins that affect these marine animals' ecosystems. And according to the Los Angeles Bureau of Sanitation, 6% of the pollution is from point sources like factories and other facilities. However, due to the Clean Water Act, they're required to do as much as they possibly can to prevent much of their waste from entering this waterbed and leading to the ocean. However, the other 94% comes from our hometowns, from our streets, from our storm drains, just the trash that we throw out of our window that we think will biodegrade, that won't. Trash that we see on the floor that we don't bother to pick up. The wind carries it, and when it rains, it goes into the storm drain and out to the ocean. And there's a common misconception that whenever you go to the beach and you see trash on the floor, that is from the people that were there before. However, the majority of the trash that's there comes from the storm drain that runs to the beach and is left on the beach. And Long Beach, as compared to a giant toilet bowl that doesn't flush. So everything keeps on building up with this non-biodegradable material, plastic. Some scientists estimate this to be the size of Texas. And it is harmful to wildlife, and we think that we need to protect the wildlife, but it also affects us indirectly. How all this trash builds up in this area is the trash will be on the beach, and the currents will take it out, and then the wind carries it and kind of forms this place in the middle where it gets stuck and just catches on to the other plastic and trash around it. It has been reported that 276 species of marine organisms had either ingested or were entangled by plastic marine debris. Fish that live in the water take in all the toxic chemicals in this. And say a fish is just, living in this water and all the stuff is being dumped into its home. It's breathing it in and filtering as much as possible. However, some of this waste gets stuck. And although it's a small amount at first, it continues to live in this water and it builds up or accumulates, resulting in bioaccumulation. And then say the same fish is caught and brought to a fish market. And a man goes to this fish market, he buys the fish, he takes it home, he cooks it well, and he eats it. He now has taken in a portion of the industrial waste that the fish intake. However, this relatively small amount doesn't cause much damage. However, if he does this week after week, it starts to build up as it did in the fish. And this process is biomagnification, which is ingesting previously poisoned, or ingesting organisms that were previously poisoned. And the relatively small amount that he was consuming is now a big problem because he's taking in more and more. Most of these dangerous substances are lipid soluble, which means that the body can't flush it out and it gets stuck in the organism's fat tissue. And since it's prevented from leaving the body, your body can't naturally heal itself. As if you got a cold, you would sleep, you would rest and take medicine, it remains stuck and can't be flushed out. A few of the toxic, harmful chemicals that are found in these plastics that are ingested are PCBs, PBAs, DDT, and heavy metals like lead. And these cause damage to the reproductive system, to your eyesight, the nervous system, and some are carcinogenic. And I'd like to bring up Robert Moore to discuss what you all can do to help.
Now that we know how the plastics enter our rivers and affect the surrounding ecosystem, what are some things that we can do to help? Well, since 1970, some steps have been taken to protect our watersheds and reduce the amount of debris such as plastic and harmful wastes that are present. As you can see, these are some plastics that are actually on the San Gabriel riverbed and do affect the habitats and the lives of many species. As Alyssa and Alex both stated earlier, right here in the bottom corner, you can see debris that was washed out to the riverbed that the tides has already pushed back onto the shore. In 1972, the Clean Water Act was passed, and it was signed by Nixon, which protected all the waterways by law. What it did was that it created a system to target point source pollution. Now, point source pollution is a pollution that can be traced back to an actual source, such as imagine you were driving on the interstate highway. If you were to litter out your window and you were caught by a highway patrolman, you would be charged a fine of up to $1,000. Why are you charged? Because it was shown that you actually caused the damage. Now, the major issue with the Clean Water Act is that it cannot punish non-point source pollution. Non-point source pollution is a pollution that cannot be traced to any individual source, such as the water that flows down the storm drains. How can you charge any one person for washing their car if, let's say, the neighbor down the street is also washing their car? You can't charge them for that. Another great thing about the Clean Water Act was that it also led to the creation of the Superfund. The Superfund is a giant fund that corporations and companies must contribute to and it's used to clean up any toxic or chemical hazardous waste places that are caused by these actual industries and people. Now, we know that the government has taken its step in order to protect the waterways, but what are some things that we can do on a personal level, that you can do and that I can do? There are actually many small things that we can change in our characteristics, just small habits that we can do just to help out a little bit. Some of these are to avoid non-recyclable items, and recyclable items that you do that can be recycled, such as styrofoam, papers, and plastics. Also, reduce your plastic use in general. When you go to the market, don't use a plastic bag, use your own reusable bags. Properly dispose of all hazardous materials. That includes household materials, motor oil, paints, and things like that. There are also things you can do in your actual community. If you can write a letter to your congressperson or even to your city, you can ask them to put on screens onto the catch basins or your storm drains. These screens will actually catch the debris before it can even enter the river or the waterways. You can volunteer at in your neighborhood with your neighborhood or with organizations such as our club to clean up the rivers and or beaches. Sweep your sidewalks and your driveways instead of rinsing them down. Once you rinse them, that debris is going to flow into the rivers and ultimately the ocean. You can also fix roving sprinklers, water hoses, and any leaks to prevent runoff. Now, the only issue with this is that these are called post-consumer fixes. This happens after we've already bought material, after the resource has already been used. This is not the point. As an environmental group, we stress the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. But out of these 3, the most important is to reduce, to stop things at the source. Now, in order to do this, we need to enact a social change. Not just a change in our own behaviors, but a change in our very way of thinking as a group, as a whole. Now, to do this, instead of having to have always the latest piece of technology, like the latest iPad, the latest computer, you don't necessarily need to upgrade. Only do so when it's absolutely necessary. Don't buy things you don't need, don't buy extra crap, basically. And by doing these things, not only are you saving natural resources, but you're also reducing waste and helping not fill up landfills. We'd like to give special thanks to Polar, who actually let us reuse some of their slides and information and their research, and who actually educated us on the San Gabriel River. Candace Ignosis with Generation Earth, she actually gave a presentation to us too and some information, and allows us to do much of the activities that we do. Human Cells for Catering Services, Computers for Kids, Jeff Bugle, Ordinary T-shirts, Screening Printing Company for helping us get our shirts for our club. Jennifer Knits, she's amazing. She'll hustle money for us. And of course, our own Melissa Winger, our club advisor. And without none of this would be possible. Thank you.